Your thoughts are the blueprint of your life. Every building begins as an idea in the mind of an architect. Before the foundation is laid, before the walls rise, before the roof touches the sky, there is only a vision, a sketch, a blueprint. The same is true for your life. What you see around you today, your achievements, your struggles, your relationships, even the direction of your future, are all built on the blueprint of your thoughts. Your mind is not a passive space. It is the most powerful construction site you will ever own. Each thought you allow to linger becomes a brick in the structure of your destiny. Positive thoughts create strong, unshakable walls of courage and hope, while negative ones can weaken your foundation and leave cracks that limit your potential. Like an architect, you hold the pen, deciding whether your design will be a masterpiece of strength and vision or a fragile house built on doubt and fear. The beauty of this truth is that you don't need to wait for permission to change your design. At any moment, you can redraw your blueprint. You can replace self-limiting beliefs with empowering ones, trade fear for faith, and turn hesitation into purposeful action. The life you dream of isn't built by chance. It is built by choice, brick by brick, thought by thought. Master your thoughts, and you master your future. Because in the end, the mind is not just where life begins, it is where life is built. Now let's begin. Number 1, the inner architect. Every life is a structure, and every structure begins in the unseen. Just as no skyscraper rises without an architect's vision, no destiny unfolds without the silent drafts of the mind. You are, whether you realize it or not, the architect of your own existence. Your thoughts are not random sparks that flicker and vanish. They are blueprints, precise lines that shape the framework of your future. Think of your beliefs as the foundation. If you believe you are capable, worthy, and resilient, you are laying down a base strong enough to hold the weight of your dreams. But if you allow doubt, fear, and unworthiness to settle in, you pour a foundation that cracks under pressure. Every decision you make, every path you walk, is built on this hidden groundwork. Ideas and perceptions are the walls rising from that foundation. They determine how open or confined your life feels. Some people construct narrow corridors of limitation, never realizing they are the ones who built the walls. Others create wide, expansive rooms filled with possibility and light, all because they dared to think differently. And just like a skilled architect, your mind must be intentional with its design. A careless architect builds without foresight, and the result is chaos. But a conscious architect studies the plan, adjusts the details, and ensures every line serves the greater vision. Likewise, you must guard your thoughts, what you dwell on, what you feed your mind, and what you allow to take root. Your thoughts don't just design who you are today, they forecast who you will be tomorrow. The house of your life is always under construction, and every belief, every idea, every perception is a brick being laid. The question is, are you building a prison of limitation or a cathedral of greatness? The choice and the blueprint are in your hands. Number 2, seeds of reality. Every thought you think is a seed, small and invisible, yet carrying within it the potential to shape the garden of your life. Just as an acorn holds the blueprint of a mighty oak, a single thought can hold the destiny of your future. What you repeatedly plant in the soil of your mind will eventually sprout into habits, actions, and the reality you inhabit. The most fascinating part is that seeds don't discriminate. They grow according to what you plant. Plant seeds of fear, and soon you will harvest hesitation, avoidance, and missed opportunities. Plant seeds of doubt, and you will find yourself surrounded by limitations, believing the walls are too high to climb. But plant seeds of courage, faith, and vision, and you will cultivate resilience, creativity, and a future filled with abundance. Just like any gardener, you must tend to your inner soil. Neglected ground becomes overrun with weeds, random negative thoughts, toxic influences, and self-defeating beliefs. Left unchecked, these weeds choke out the growth of healthier, life-giving seeds. But with conscious effort, with daily mindfulness, intentional affirmations, and nurturing environments, you can enrich your soil, ensuring that what you plant grows strong and fruitful. The growth process also demands patience. A seed doesn't become a tree overnight, and your thoughts won't immediately transform into outcomes. But with persistence, consistency and faith in the unseen, the harvest becomes inevitable. Every success story you admire once began as an invisible seed, an idea, a belief, a thought that someone dared to nurture. Your life today is the result of yesterday's planting. Your life tomorrow will be shaped by the seeds you sow today. So the question is not whether your seeds will grow, they always do, but rather, what are you planting? Because in the end, your thoughts don't just create your world. They are the roots of the reality you live in. Number 3, magnet of destiny. Your mind is not just a vessel of thoughts. It is a powerful magnet, constantly pulling into your life the very things you dwell upon. Whether you're aware of it or not, every repeated thought sends out an invisible signal, and that signal attracts experiences, opportunities, and people who resonate with its frequency. This is why what you consistently think about, you eventually live out. Think of it this way. When your mind is saturated with fear, you unknowingly tune yourself to the frequency of fear, and suddenly the world seems to reflect back reasons to be afraid. When you obsess over lack, you see only limitations. But when your thoughts are filled with gratitude, courage, and vision, you magnetize abundance, strength, and like-minded people into your orbit. Destiny, then, isn't simply a random path you stumble onto, it's the natural outcome of your mental energy. Just as a magnet doesn't strain to attract metal, you don't have to force life when your thoughts are aligned. The pull happens naturally. That's why some people seem to be followed by opportunity, while others are constantly shadowed by misfortune. Both are magnets, each attracting in accordance with what dominates their inner world. But this magnetic force comes with responsibility. You must choose your mental focus carefully, because dwelling on negativity doesn't just affect how you feel, it shapes what you draw into your reality. By consciously redirecting your thoughts toward hope, possibility, and growth, you reprogram the magnet of your destiny to attract the very life you desire. Your thoughts are not idle whispers, they are forces in motion, shaping tomorrow while you live today. The question is simple yet profound. What kind of magnet are you becoming? For your life will always reflect the energy you consistently radiate. Number 4. Silent scriptwriter. Every moment of your life is a performance, and whether you know it or not, the script has already been written, quietly, invisibly, by your thoughts. Long before you take a step, utter a word, or make a decision, your mind drafts the storyline. You are not improvising your life. You are performing from a mental script you've been rehearsing all along. Think of an actor preparing for a role. Before the spotlight ever hits, they study their lines, embody the emotions, and rehearse every gesture. By the time they step onto the stage, the performance flows almost effortlessly. In the same way, your daily actions are rehearsed in the theater of your mind. If your internal dialogue is filled with self-doubt, your script will lead you into hesitation, fear, and missed opportunities. But if your thoughts are charged with confidence and vision, your script will guide you into bold choices and courageous living. The silent scriptwriter within you never rests. Every repeated thought strengthens the storyline, and every belief becomes a recurring theme. That's why certain patterns in your life seem to repeat themselves, not because fate insists on it, but because the script in your mind keeps calling for the same scenes. The beauty is, you are not trapped in an unchangeable plot. You are both the actor and the author. At any moment, you can revise the script. You can write in new possibilities, edit out limiting beliefs, and introduce plot twists that align with your highest vision. Life does not hand you a script. It hands you a pen. The words you write silently in your thoughts will one day echo loudly in your reality. So the question is, what story are you rehearsing? Because sooner or later, you will live the play you've already written in your mind. But number 5, the mirror principle. Life is not simply what happens to you, it is what happens through you. The world is a mirror, faithfully reflecting the patterns you carry within. If your mind is clouded with fear, insecurity, and resentment, the reflection you see in your circumstances will appear distorted and harsh. But if your inner world is filled with clarity, gratitude, and strength, life will reflect back peace, abundance, and opportunity. Imagine standing before a mirror with smudges and cracks. No matter how beautiful you are, the reflection will appear flawed. The problem isn't with your face, it's with the mirror. In the same way, when your thoughts are negative or chaotic, the world around you seems unkind and uncooperative. But when your thoughts are aligned with positivity, the mirror clears, and life reveals its true brightness. The mirror principle teaches us a profound truth. Reality is subjective. Two people can walk through the same storm. One sees only destruction, the other sees a chance to rebuild stronger. The difference lies not in the storm, but in the reflection of their inner mindset. This principle is both empowering and humbling. It means you can't always control what happens externally, but you can always shape what gets reflected back by mastering what's inside. Positive thoughts sharpen your vision, allowing you to see opportunities hidden in challenges. Negative thoughts blur your perspective, making even blessings appear like burdens. The mirror never lies. It simply reflects. If you don't like the reflection, the solution isn't to shatter the glass, but to adjust what's within. By cultivating inner clarity, forgiveness, and strength, you reshape the patterns that life mirrors back to you. So, when you look at the circumstances around you, ask yourself, what part of me is being reflected here? For in the end, the world is not your enemy or your savior. It is your mirror. Number 6. Thoughts carve character. Picture a sculptor standing before a massive block of marble. At first it appears solid, unshaped, and ordinary. Yet with each deliberate strike of the chisel, the sculptor brings forth hidden beauty, revealing form and detail that was always waiting inside. This is exactly how your thoughts shape you. Every thought you entertain is a chisel, striking at the marble of your being. Over time, these countless small strokes carve out your personality, your values, and your resilience. Your character is not formed in a single moment of decision, but in the quiet repetition of thought. A single thought of kindness, entertained often, softens the edges of selfishness. Repeated thoughts of courage, even when fear is present, gradually sculpt bravery into your being. But the reverse is also true. Thoughts of bitterness can carve deep cracks of resentment, while persistent negativity erodes the strength of your inner foundation. What makes this process powerful is its subtlety. You may not notice the change immediately, just as a sculptor's early strikes reveal little of the masterpiece to come, but over time, the shape becomes undeniable. Who you are today is the result of yesterday's thinking, and who you will be tomorrow is being sculpted by the thoughts you entertain right now. This truth also carries freedom. No block of marble is beyond redemption. Even if your past thoughts carved patterns you no longer wish to bear, you can pick up a new chisel. By directing your thoughts toward gratitude, discipline, compassion, and vision, you can refine the sculpture of your character into something worthy and enduring. In the end, the world does not remember the block of marble. It remembers the statue it became. And likewise, your legacy will not be the raw potential you carried, but the character you carved with your thoughts. Number 7. Energy in motion. Every thought you think is more than a whisper in your mind. It is energy in motion. Just like sound waves ripple through the air or electricity flows through wires, your thoughts carry frequency, shaping not only how you feel, but also how you move through the world. They are invisible currents that either drain your vitality or amplify it, contracting your life or expanding it. Fear, worry, and doubt are heavy frequencies. They drain, slow, and restrict, like weights tied to your spirit. When you dwell in these states, your body feels tired, your creativity stalls, and even simple tasks feel like climbing mountains. Hope, faith, and gratitude, on the other hand, are high frequencies, light, expansive, and empowering. They don't just lift your mood, they energize your actions, open your vision, and attract new opportunities that align with that elevated state. Your inner energy sets the rhythm of your outer life. If your thoughts pulse with harmony, clarity, and positivity, the rhythm of your days flows with ease. Challenges still come, but you move through them like a dancer in step with the music. But when your inner energy is chaotic, negative, or stagnant, your outer world feels disjointed, like trying to dance to broken rhythms. What makes this principle profound is its reach. The frequency you carry influences not just your own path, but also those around you. People are drawn to energy that uplifts and repelled by energy that drains. That is why leaders with vision inspire nations, while those steeped in fear spread unrest. You are a transmitter and receiver at once. Guard the frequency you emit by cultivating empowering thoughts, and you'll notice how life begins to echo that same energy back to you. For in the end, the outer world is simply keeping pace with the rhythm of your inner one. Number 8. The gatekeeper of possibility. Your mind is the great gatekeeper of your life. Before opportunity ever reaches you, it must first pass through the gates of your perception. And those gates are not opened or closed by luck or fate, but by the thoughts you choose to believe. In this sense, your mind can be your greatest ally, swinging wide the doors of possibility, or your greatest jailer, locking you inside walls of limitation. When your thoughts are rooted in self-belief, creativity, and openness, you begin to notice paths that others overlook. Opportunities that once seemed hidden suddenly appear because your mind has chosen to keep those gates open. It isn't that life has changed, it's that your awareness has. Like a traveler walking through a fog that suddenly clears, you see what was always there but obscured by doubt. On the other hand, negative thoughts act like heavy locks on those gates. If you constantly tell yourself, "I can't," "It's impossible," or "I'm not ready," you blind yourself to the very doors standing in front of you. Possibility doesn't vanish. It simply becomes invisible to a mind unwilling to see it. The gatekeeper of your mind is always listening. Every thought is an instruction, to open or to close. The more you entertain empowering thoughts, the more doors swing wide, revealing new directions, resources, and connections. The more you indulge in limiting beliefs, the more your world shrinks, not because it truly lacks opportunities, but because you've locked them away. The most successful lives are not lived by those with fewer challenges, but by those whose gatekeeper knows how to say yes to possibility. Train your mind to open the gates, and you will realize that life is not short on opportunities, it is short only on vision. Number 9. Future and preview. Before a movie is released, the world sees a trailer, a short glimpse of what's coming. In the same way, every thought you think is a preview of the life you are creating. Your mind plays the trailers of your future long before the full story unfolds. And just like with a film, the tone of the trailer gives you a clear idea of what the main feature will look like. If your inner trailer is filled with fear, failure, and self-doubt, don't be surprised when the story that follows mirrors those emotions. You've already rehearsed the scenes in your mind: hesitation, regret, limitation, and the world simply projects them onto the screen of your reality. But if your thoughts are alive with hope, vision, and confidence, the trailer shifts. It excites you, fuels you, and prepares you for a future that feels worth stepping into. The power lies in realizing that the script is yours to write. Too often, people watch their mental trailers as if they are passive audiences, forgetting that they are the director, the writer, and the lead actor of the film. Every day, you hold the chance to edit, rewrite, and reshoot. A negative thought doesn't have to define the whole movie, it's just a draft. With conscious intention, you can change the narrative running in your head and, by extension, alter the direction of your life. Your current reality is the result of trailers you've been running for years. Your future will be shaped by the previews you choose today. So when you catch yourself watching a trailer of failure, pause and rewrite. Cast yourself as resilient, courageous, and victorious. Because sooner or later the world will screen the movie your thoughts have been advertising all along. Number 10. Masterpiece of mindset. Life does not arrive with pre-written meaning. It offers you raw materials, moments, choices, challenges, and opportunities, and waits for you to decide what they will become. Your thoughts are the brushstrokes, the colors, the lines of design that transform this blank canvas into something remarkable. With every thought you choose, you are either sketching faint outlines that fade with time or painting a masterpiece that endures. Too many people live as though life is a sketch handed to them by circumstance, rough, incomplete, and defined by the expectations of others. They never realize that they hold the power to reimagine, to deepen the lines, to fill the canvas with vibrancy. The difference lies in mindset. Empowering thoughts breathe color into dull experiences. turning setbacks into lessons and obstacles into stepping stones. Limiting thoughts, on the other hand, drain the canvas, leaving it pale, fragile, and unfinished. The masterpiece of your life is not measured by how easy the strokes were, but by the depth and intentionality behind them. A mind trained in resilience adds bold lines of strength. A mind steeped in gratitude adds warmth and light. A mind guided by vision paints expansively, refusing to stay confined within the small frame of fear. The truth is, no one else can paint your masterpiece for you. Life hands you the canvas, but your thoughts decide the art. If you allow negativity to guide the brush, you'll find yourself staring at a half-finished sketch, wondering why it feels incomplete. But if you choose to think boldly, with clarity and courage, you'll step back one day and see a masterpiece, one that could never be mistaken for anyone else's work. In the end, mindset is not just how you survive life, it is how you create art with it. And the question remains, are you sketching your existence, or are you painting your masterpiece? Conclusion. In the grand architecture of existence, nothing is built by accident. Every word you speak, every action you take, every path you walk begins first as a whisper in your mind. Your thoughts are not idle visitors. They are builders, designers, and architects of the life you live. They sketch the plans, lay the foundations, and construct the walls of your reality, brick by brick, day by day. If your thoughts are small, your life will feel confined. If your thoughts are dark, your days will seem heavy. But when your thoughts expand with vision, gratitude, and courage, life opens wide, revealing possibilities you once thought unreachable. You do not need to wait for tomorrow to begin. The pen is already in your hand, and the blueprint is being drawn with every thought you entertain today. The truth is simple yet profound. You will never rise above the architecture of your own mind. So design boldly. Think with intention. Build with faith. For life will echo the shape of your thoughts, reflecting back the masterpiece or the prison you create within. Your thoughts are your greatest power. Guard them, shape them, and elevate them, for they are silently sketching the story you will one day live out loud. And when you look back at the life you have built, may it not resemble a fragile sketch faded with regret, but a radiant masterpiece, proof that you chose to design your destiny rather than drift into it.